Okay, I feel like the lighting right now is extremely atrocious. I tried to make it look halfway decent because I have this little cell phone ring light thingy here. So it's not like as bad when I put this in front of me. Because see, look what happens when I take it away. That is not a pretty sight. I used to have one of those big proper YouTuber ring light things, and then it just got too much of a hassle for me. Plus I was going half blind every time I recorded, so I got rid of that a while ago and I don't regret it, but it does pose a bit of a problem when I want to film at night because the lighting in my apartment is just not that great on its own. But I really wanted to get this video out today because I've been promising this second half of my makeup haul from last month for a while now. We have other things that we need to get to, hopefully, on this channel. So let's go ahead and finish up my Spark Joy makeup haul of November, December. I also do just want to address my makeup for today, so I did not intend for it to come out looking quite as evil as it does right now. Maybe it's just me. I just wanted to play around with greens pretty much. Like I used my Joocyee Red Dragon palette from Odin's Eye. I used this chartreuse green and the green glitter up here, as well as I combined it with this darker mossy green shade from an RMK palette. This was from their Rosewood Daydream collection. But yeah, it came out looking quite grungier than I expected. I feel like I'm giving you Disney villain tease right now, although that was not my original intention. I swear to God, like, I refuse to let my intros go over a minute from now on. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's get into the goodies. So, just to forewarn you, so this is the rest of my makeup in here. There is really like no rhyme or reason when it comes to my makeup purchases as of late. I have a mixture of Japanese brands, Korean brands, and a Chinese brand in here. I think I'm going through a little bit of like, I don't want to say crisis, but a little bit of an identity shift in terms of my makeup brand alignment these days, because it's like I thought I was an RMK girl through and through, but I completely bypassed their holiday collection for autumn winter 2021 on like a complete whim because they happen to not have stock of the one eyeshadow palette that I wanted the most. So because of that, I decided to just bypass the entire collection. It was kind of surprising to me because I really thought that with Joocyee assuming the role as their new creative director. Okay, I'll let you in on a little secret. I kind of have like a little thing for Joocyee. Yes, it is mostly because of his tattoos. I guess in this sense I am that basic, like if you have tattoos and you're moderately fit as a guy, you pretty much, I'm already biased. You're already on my good side, you know? Like you don't gotta do much past having tattoos and like a stable, steady income and job for me to have a thing for you. So I really thought that like with Joocyee being the new creative director, I would just be toast. Like I would not be able to resist anything that comes out under his creative leadership, but something inside me decided to rebel this year, I guess. I don't know, like I like the new holiday collection, but I was also ready to drop it like yesterday's news if they didn't have the palette that I happen to want the most. But anyway, so enough about that. I have revealed too much already. So I got the Rimmel Royal Vintage Eyes, and this is in one of their new limited edition colors, number 105. It's called Lilac Pink. I've spoken briefly on this line in the past. I really like this formula in general, the Royal Vintage Eyes from Rimmel Japan. All of the shadows in this line just give off that really nice silky sheen-like finish. It's good for if you want to add just a little bit of like pizzazz and dazzle in your everyday makeup, but you don't want to quite go the chunky, you know, K-beauty glitter route. These are a really good option, I think. They give you like that really pretty glistening effect, but the shadows on the whole are still quite muted in finish. Even though some of the color variations can look quite bright in the pans, once they're on your eyes, they all give off like a really consistent, colorful but muted and just sophisticated effect. I wouldn't say it's a versatile formula per se, because it kind of is like a one-trick pony in terms of the effect that you can get from this series. Basically all of them are just going to give you that really soft, shimmery, silky, half saturated. It's not going to be full pigmentation like a typical Western eyeshadow brand, but as long as you know like that's the look that you're going for, that's the finish that you want for any given look or day, I think you can't go wrong with these. I was really not planning on purchasing more because I think I have like 5 different color variations of the Royal Vintage Eyes at this point, so maybe I should do like a dedicated video on this eyeshadow quad line. No promises though, I'm not sure yet because honestly I don't know how many people would be interested in that. But yeah, when I saw this newly released color combo, I couldn't resist because it just reminds me of like Cinderella. Doesn't it just give you Cinderella princessy vibes? Like with the powder blue gown down here and the pink and brown for the makeup or whatever. And it also, in addition to that, it also gives me like early 2000s prom dress vibes, which my prom dress actually was this color. I don't know, I guess we can just chalk it up to that super strong nostalgia factor. Okay, next I got this Sugar Twinkle liquid glitter from Peripera. I really liked their little dual pocket glitter shadow pressed pan duo that I picked up a while ago. I thought it was like a really impactful glitter for a pretty affordable price. That one was under 1,000 yen, and I think this one was also under 1,000 yen, even though I can't remember the exact price at the moment. So far I'm really happy with the performance as well as the affordability of this brand, and this is in the shade 03 Beaming Sunny Light, which is a very fitting name. I was just drawn to the really bright tangerine base of this glitter. Most of the liquid glitters that I own are either clear or silver based. Since I do tend to do a lot of peachy or terracotta base looks these days, I felt that this would be the perfect glitter topper to amp up any of those types of looks. I'm actually wearing a little bit on my lids today, just a little at the top here to contrast with the green. I don't know if you can really see it because the moss green on my lids right now is pretty dark and overpowering, but I did place a little bit on the top center of my lids. And yeah, you can't go wrong with a peachy orangey glitter. I'm okay with peach and orange, but I'm not okay with gold, so go figure. Next up I have this Mousse Tint Lip by Little Lady Luxe, and this is the first time I've ever heard of this brand. Probably the most spontaneous item of my entire haul today. This brand is very, very small and not very talked about at all. In fact, I had to look it up after coming home to see what it was all about. I don't think it even has anything other than lip products out at this moment, and I don't know if they plan to put out more things. But yeah, so this is called Little Lady Luxe, and this is basically a matte tinted lip gloss in the shade 04 Caramel Mousse. And it says that this is a limited color, although again, like, not to be shady, but I don't really understand what's the point of coming out with a limited color when nobody knows your brand in the first place. I'm really not trying to be shady, but I don't hear anybody talking about this brand. Regardless though, I did pick this up because I was immediately drawn to the color, and I'm wearing it on my lips right now. I just can't get enough of these caramel terracotta brown shades these days. This is my makeup version of a pumpkin spice latte, you know, which is not even a thing in Japan, by the way. Like, not that I know of, at least. I haven't come across a single pumpkin spice latte in my 10 years living in Tokyo. I feel like that's more of a North America thing, maybe just a USA thing. But yeah, so this is what the shade looks like. Very pretty, very opaque, and it's a really good formula actually. So unsurprisingly, it does tend to dry out my lips if I don't wear a base. Luckily for me, I have my RMK matte lipstick base that I use religiously these days, so as long as I remember to swipe a layer of this on underneath, I can enjoy pretty much any matte lipstick formula without it sucking all the life out of my lips by the end of the day. So that's really great. One thing I really do appreciate about this is that the formula is pretty much completely scentless, which I think sets it apart from a lot of Korean lip tints, which do, in my experience at least, the Korean lip tints all tend to have some sort of fragrance built into the formula, which I don't mind personally, but if you're someone who's really sensitive to fragrances, I think that this might be a great option for you if you can get your hands on it, because it gives you that same like rich, moussey, blurred Korean lip tint effect minus the strong fragrance. So who doesn't like that? Plus the component is just so gorgeous, right? We love an ombre. Always, always, always.
Always.
Okay, the next item, I'm not kidding you, I've literally had this on my wish list for months upon months. I finally decided to bite the bullet the other day because they were having the store-wide 10% off sale, so I thought, you know what, it's now or never. So that would be this little baby right here, Diamond Shell Highlight by the Chinese brand Joocyee. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is in the shade number 1, Moonlight. Okay, so the packaging. I mean, that's like 90% of it really. As far as the actual formula and performance goes, you know what, I'm gonna need to report back to you guys because I'm not quite sure yet what to think about this. Here, let's just put some on right now actually. I did swatch this earlier for the little swatch footage that you're gonna see in this video, but I feel like I need a refresher on how this actually looks. Okay, so yeah. So it's like, as you can tell, super duper glittery, but not like, once it's on your cheek, it doesn't have as much of that wet glimmering effect that I was expecting. Because see, when you look in the pan, it's like this really dense, wet, shimmery effect, but once you apply it on your skin, it kind of just like, it doesn't build up past a certain point, which is not a bad thing per se, but I think I was expecting more of along the lines of like, okay, so I actually, here's the thing. I've had my eye on 2 Chinese highlighters for a while now. 2 highlighters from Chinese brands. So one of them being Joocyee and the other one being the highlighter from Flower Nose with the really ornate, like, Baroque packaging. I don't know if Baroque is the right art period that I'm referencing here. Maybe it's more Rococo style. I think it's Baroque. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, the one by Flower Nose. I think when I picked this one up, I kind of was expecting the same formula as the Flower Nose highlighter, but it doesn't seem to be quite the same. The reason I didn't pick up the Flower Nose highlighter yet is because I kind of like, I missed my chance basically. By the time I made my mind up, that highlighter was no longer sold in physical stores around me, which means that I would have had to go online and go out of my way to order it on Qoo10 or somewhere, which I can still do now, but I don't know, I feel like it's better, it's just better to catch me in an actual physical store, you know, especially these days with the whole international shipping complications as a result of the COVID situation. I have to really want something to go to the hassle of ordering it online from overseas. Probably should just bite the bullet and get the Flower Nose one because I keep thinking about it and it's been like damn near half a year by now, so I should just get it, and that way it can stop taking up mental space in my mind, right? It can just take up space in my actual makeup drawer. Anyway, back to the Spiral Shell Highlight. Very sparkly, very pretty, different from anything that I see the Japanese or Korean brands doing. I do enjoy it so far. Like right now, I think it looks pretty nice, but I'm just not sure that the Joocyee formulation in particular is like the best one at executing this particular wet, shiny looking highlight effect, if you know what I mean. But this has really piqued my interest in Chinese branded highlighters in general though. I'm not in a hurry, but I'm definitely open to picking up more in the future. I'll be keeping my eye out for the different brands and formulas. You guys let me know too if you've tried any particular brand or formulation that you are a fan of, the effect that you get from these. If I can explain it in a more like emotion-based way, it kind of reminds me of, you know, in anime whenever they show the cool guy or the pretty girl, they always put like this dazzling sparkly overlay on top of the person, or there's roses and stuff, champagne bottles going off in the background. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you read manga or watch anime of any sort, which I'm not even that big of an anime fan, but if you've watched like pretty much any popular anime that's out there, especially ones from the shoujo genre, you know what I'm talking about. Like every time that the cool hot guy or girl appears on the screen, there's always this over-the-top glittery sparkly effect going on, like they're too dazzling for your eyes to even handle or something like that. That's the effect that I feel like these Chinese highlighters are capturing in real life really well. So yeah, that's kind of like the psychological payoff that I'm getting as well from using this type of a highlighter. I will report back to you guys like my final thoughts on the Spiral Shell highlight maybe a little later on if I were asked to give like a ranking or how many stars out of 5 right now. I don't think I could do it. The packaging is 5 out of 5 stars for sure though. I mean, this is like right up my alley with the clear iridescent quality of it all. It probably costs like 2 cents to produce the actual component, and then they just mark it up 5,000%. But regardless, it's a really visually pleasing packaging. Okay, so the last item in my Spark Joy haul would be a refill or repeat purchase of an old favorite. That would be the Gucci Rush 2 Eau de Toilette fragrance. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that this is my favorite perfume of all time. So of course it got discontinued sometime last year. I don't even know exactly when. I don't think they even made an official announcement because I feel like Gucci was trying to be like stealth and sneaky about it. Just quietly discontinue it and hope that no one notices. No, I definitely noticed, okay? So basically anytime one of these pops up for a decent enough price on one of those like Amazon or Rakuten, any one of those secondary retail sites, I snatch it up because I honestly don't know what I would do with myself if I didn't have any more Gucci Rush 2 in my life. Like, I'm still in denial. Like, I'm not really accepting of the fact that one day I am going to eventually run out of Gucci Rush 2. So I have my big 50 milliliter box right now, or bottle. This one is like halfway done, and then this one is 30 milliliters. Oh, by the way, so yeah, if you're ever at a loss for what to get me in terms of a present, I will always welcome more refill bottles of Gucci Rush 2, provided that they're not marked up like 10 times the retail price by these exploitative scalpers online. It's actually starting to get pretty bad. I feel like Gucci Rush 2 has a small cult following. I can't be the only one that swears by this perfume as her ride or die, so I'm sure there's like competition out there, and the people that are holding on to the last stocked bottles of these are taking advantage of that by upping the price. Nevertheless, I will find and purchase every last bottle, okay? This is just a fact. And I know some people have commented on my channel before with their recommendations for other similar fragrances. While I truly appreciate that, like I appreciate your concern and your efforts to try and prepare me for reality, but like, I'm sorry, I just have to say I don't want any other fragrance except for Gucci Rush 2. Like, it's not the same. You cannot convince me that it's the same. I know it's not the same, okay? Nothing can compare to Gucci Rush 2. This is just the best. Nothing compares to you. Even the other day, like the first or second day when I was actually in the office for my new job, I go to the office once a week so that we can basically use up our lunch budgets. Like, that's pretty much the only reason we go in. There's no like actual reason for any of us to go into the office because all of our work can be done remotely, but yeah, gotta use up those lunch budgets. So anyway, the first day of my new job, this guy was like, oh my god, what is that perfume? It smells so heavenly. And I was like, yeah, it's me. I'm the one that smells heavenly. You're welcome. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you that it's Gucci Rush 2. You gotta maintain some sense of mystery out here. But yeah, this is a must-have. I will hunt down and eventually purchase every last available bottle on this earth. Oh, actually, I lied. I have one more thing. This is not makeup, but I feel like I should include it in this haul because it does spark joy. So I got this random, like, really large notebook, and this was really expensive. This was like 2,000 yen after 40% off, but it's a really good quality notebook though. The cover is like a fabric material. So here, let me take the plastic off. This notebook is by a European brand, I think, called Norman Copenhagen. And I bought it because the pink and purple stripe design remind me of the Cheshire Cat, who I stan, as you all know. It's just a blank notebook. I'm gonna use this as my new manifestation notebook after I work through my current one, which is this Gucci notebook right here. So I think this one's actually larger, but yeah, this one's larger. But I like really large notebooks with hard covers like these, because then I can write on it anywhere and I'll have like a nice hard surface to write on, which means I can do manifestation scripting in bed and all of that good stuff. Okay, my battery's dying, so thank you so much for joining me as always, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!